Siere Balegina, here to watch us work? Or are you finally going to let me strap you down to a table?
Ado Sere. Respectfully, I must decline.
You don't mind if I talk and work, do you? What can I do for you? Giacollo? Ak, I know him. He has a little laboratory for himself down in the gullet. His speciality is godlike. Claims he can detect them in the womb. Giacollo rents a room in Cozy, the Hole, which is that grimy tavern down below. Why he seeks to bury himself, you will have to ask him yourself. Not many animancers down there, so he should be easy to find, if they haven't stolen all his equipment. Or at Ogori. What can I do for you? Glad you asked, amico. Very glad. We're very excited about the work here, and we are always looking for volunteers. We've catalogued a number of interesting properties unique to luminous Adra, but there are some very specific qualities we are investigating. Qualities that a watcher happens to be uniquely suited to exploring. You're just what we're missing. No. Well, yes, what isn't? But not exceptionally dangerous. Luminous Adra has special effects upon Kith. Even to the humblest, it offers some small improvements. Rejuvenation, vitality, the kind of thing you sell to people back home, ne? But what about those who have already harnessed their own essence? Consider the talented cutpurse, for instance, who can cross a room by slipping briefly into another place. The world between. Luminous Adra holds enormous quantities of essence, the kind of energy we can't replicate or restore. And these formations have a kind of connection to each other across the in-between. I believe we can harness this connection and your natural abilities to transport a person across great distances in a moment. Oh, good. You've done some experimenting on your own. A curious mind is a happy mind, I say. Can't mope about ghosts all day. We've collected a number of illuminating readings, and our machines are ready to harness the Adra's essence. But for the moment, we are effectively blind when it comes to targeting the next pillar. Now, if someone were capable of sensing that essence in the in-between, even of manipulating it, someone like a watcher, for instance. Precisely right. We've had luck with shorter jumps, but those were as much spellcraft as science. The idea is for you to focus on the next connection point. The machine will use that new link between the Adra veins to create a tether, as well as provide the energy for you to jump effectively. What's really exciting is, so long as you are holding that connection open, your companions can jump alongside you.
Or they could hold things down here, make sure it's safe for you to come back.
The next pillar's due east of here, in the middle of a farm. It's not as tall as this one, but you shouldn't have any trouble finding it. Oh, and don't worry. We paid the farmers.
There was that fellow that jumped a little too far over the edge.
Stop scaring our assistant. We'll get everything ready for you.
What all do you write in those reports of yours, Maya? Did you detail the Watcher? What about me?
I may have told the company one or two choice details about you.
For real? You thought me worth noting in your politic papers? Maybe I'll make my temple proud yet.
So you're flattered. Interesting. Guess I'll add that to the next report.
Supplies! Get your supplies here!
Hello, Watcher. Fancy a look at the stock? Straight from the laboratory. Have a look.
Consider, friend, the blessings of the priests are priceless, but so too is good sense. I have certainly.
Payment for heads. It could be no simpler, I say.
Halt! What is your business at the Brass Citadel? You're the Watcher, the one who nearly caused a riot in Queensburg. Grand Secretary Atsura wants to meet you. His office is on the lower level of Imperial Command. Up the stairs. Once you're inside, go downstairs through the room on the right. Her office is at the back of Imperial Command. She is busy organizing other matters. But I am sure she will grant you an audience.
Unfurled and sword held high, to battle for glory and Rautai.
Faithfully done, Emiani. Report to Wakoyo Nui when your hands and your temper have healed.
That's the last time I ship out with some soft-handed runt.
I've got all sorts of goods and supplies. Take a look before you head back out. Because I'm from Rawatai. Or, to be more specific, my ancestral home's been part of the Empire for decades. Few generations now. The usual way, I guess. Their soldiers beat ours. I don't know. I never known anything else. We've got the Rawataians' fancy new irrigation canals now, and the roads have gotten better. The ones leading into Tekoa, anyhow. Funny thing is, the further you go on them, the nicer everything gets, and the more it all looks like this. I guess it used to. When I was younger, I grew up hearing stories of the time before from my grandparents. But they were children themselves when Rawatai took over. Some wax romantic about the old days. Anyways, I'm just trying to make a living. That's why I'm here, after all. That's a better subject. Take a look.
I'm here.
Come to gawk, too? My punishment's over, you know. I punched my captain.
Atta girl.
Though maybe he shouldn't have insulted my aim. Like I don't know the difference between a smooth and rifled bore. I'm not reporting back to Wakoyo, that's for sure. I crewed on mercenary ships before this. Come to think of it, that suited me better. Still a scramble root at heart, I guess. But I'm plenty experienced. Maybe I'll see if anyone's looking for an expert cannoneer. Don't take this the wrong way, but I only crew with captains I know. Either personally or by reputation. I'm sure you're capable, but I don't know enough about you. Yet. Let's talk again when you've made a name for yourself.
Certainly.
suddenly she's not.
Meet her eye when you've got bad news. She respects that.
I don't think she likes me. I spent most of my career escorting foreign ships.
Many have. She's got nothing against scramble roots, but don't stare at her hand.
What I just can't figure is how anyone could treasure animancy over the grace of our divine's guiding hand.
Because the mercy of Kith is less capricious than the gods' guiding hands.
Funny, it doesn't answer my question.
Why does your Ranga carve his name into a rock?
The Ranga Nui, and it's a commemoration to show what he built.
Oh. Then did your Reparo also write their names on other stones?
All-bodied people, all rarities, to many lands you spread. Heed the call of the Raganui, his voice shall fill your sails.
Well, that's it! For God's sake, I can't take it anymore! Oh, I'm seeing red all right, everywhere! And it ain't a passing vision! Palagina, we're gonna have words, you and I. And maybe you'll even apologize.
Little woman making a big noise. When someone takes that tone with me, what follows is not conversation. In the Republics, no one would bat an eye if I cut you from gut to gullet and left you holding your innards in a ditch.
You can throw your threats around in an attempt to avoid this, but it won't work. I want the air cleared, at last and for good. The problem is, this featherhead doesn't know when to stop squawking obscenities about the gods, Watcher. I've been turning a deaf ear for too long, disgracing both myself and my god, ignoring the no-good, sour-sounding, moronic blasphemy that spews out of her mouth.
Fair Blanca. Another frail-faithed priest has come to mumble tearful protestations because I don't see the world with their blind eyes. I'm sure this will be as fresh as a pasture full of cow droppings.
Watcher, how can you even hardly stand it? Such hubris she's got, and in the face of so much evidence, you scarcely need faith. The gods may move in mysterious ways, but I can tell you they've noticed us, and they've noticed her with us. I'm beginning to think she'll sully our souls by association. You're right. I'm being ugly. And I was raised better than that. Forgive me. Sometimes my passion gets the best of me. And then I don't have a lick of sense, it seems.
Madico.
I always forget that part. Say, you're the Watcher of Cad Nua, aren't you? I've never met anyone famous before. Except the Hasanui. She yells at me sometimes. Oh, all the time. Where's my white leaf? Stop daydreaming. So bore me, if you lose the ledgers again, I'll have you clean the latrines. All this time, I didn't realize she knew my name. It's just, this is my first time away from the rough country. I'd heard there were thick, green forests and sandy beaches without a storm in sight, but I never imagined this. You must have traveled lots, seen all sorts of amazing places. I'd love Rawatai, but it's hard to go a week without seeing storms, or hearing about mudslides burying a village somewhere. really wish I could, but my supplies are for the Royal Deadfire Company and our allies. Has the Nui's orders. Maybe if you impress her or Atsura, they could make an exception.
Yes?
The former Lord of Nua and one-time terrifier of harbor masters. If dockside tales are to be believed, you have not brought much good news of late. So, in addition to pirates, profiteers, and slavers, the Deadfire has a vengeful god roaming its waters? Tell that to my dead at Asongo. Just what the archipelago needs. One more disaster tugging at the seams. He must be stopped. Determination. That's good. But you need a plan. And an ally. The Valians won't lift a finger if it isn't to snatch a coin, and the Huana will barely do that much.
Success in trade has been quite elusive for the Rauataians, but the bitterness suits you well.
No one takes charge to solve the big problems. But perhaps we could work together to our mutual benefit. Did you not come to the archipelago to achieve great things? Or are you content to allow the tides to wash over you, like so many others here? Look around. Deadfire's full of fertile, temperate islands. Except for Andra's mortar. It's largely free of rough weather. It's a waste. Imagine what this place could be, with well-guarded shipping routes. How many Rauataians we could feed with plantations here. That's a naive view. One our enemies are keen to promote. Raotai's violent storms have shaped and hardened us as much as they have our homeland's rocky terrain. But it remains a difficult place to live. So, we rely on trade, and on plantations we've established here. And those developments also create a more stable, productive Deadfire. If you're chasing the god who's stomping this place into the ground, then we have a common goal. And if you're going to survive here, then you could use an ally. The disaster at Hasongo remains a key concern. We rely on the port there to ship food back to Raotai. That's on hold until you investigate. Short of that, there are other matters that demand attention. Atsura, our Grand Secretary, has a plan that would make use of your unusual talents. His office is downstairs. He can tell you more. It happened a year into my first command. We were chasing pirates along Raotai's south coast, and they landed a shot right next to our magazine. A lucky hit. I ran below. The fire was already spreading and making for our powder stores. I smothered what I could with my uniform, pulled the rest away with my own hands. Sure, letting my ship go down and losing my crew along with it. There's a cost to every victory, and the win goes to those willing to make a sacrifice. I'll bet you already know a thing or two about that, and if you don't, Deadfire will teach you soon enough. Hazatoa. Atsura and I usually have a game running, and this one's been going on for over a month and a half. Atsura's good at misdirection, but I've got a mind for the long game. You look like you've come with a purpose.
Rhyming Hazanui with Kablooey?
I can't think of anything else that goes with Hazanui.
Me neither. That's why I leave epics to the lore college.
Criticism is easier than creation.
What can I do?
Watcher Nui, the Lord of Cadnua. I'm not one for ostentation, but your remarkable display at Queen's birth suggests that you are an individual with skills, not mere style. Deadfire could certainly use more people with your gumption. I am Atsura, Grand Secretary of the Royal Deadfire Company. And why not? Thousands of years ago, our people came from the archipelago. By one reckoning, we have as much claim on these islands as the Juana. But our purpose here is trade. While our homeland is rich in saltpeter, the violent climate and rocky soils make it a poor source for most other basic staples. It's my business to look after the mainland's interests here. That is a Valian frivolity. Leave it to them to observe a substance that occurs nowhere else on Eora, and immediately set about pulverizing it for profit.
And leave it to Arawatayan to ignore the dozens of other uses Valian animancers have discovered for luminous Adra just in the last few years.
I do not think in years, Aimika. I think in centuries. Yet the Valians toy with luminous Adra like a child who has discovered her mother's pistol. nothing. We know too little about luminous Adra to understand the consequences of ripping it out. Perhaps you can help me keep them from doing more harm. It's not about what the Valians are doing to us, but rather to all of the Deadfire. The demand for luminous Adra has sent the Valian Trading Company into a frenzy. Their expeditions grow too bold, and their officers too greedy. Worse, their rapid expansion attracts pirates and threatens the outlying Juana tribes. This risks souring the Kahanga royals against all foreign involvement. But you can curtail their growth. By snapping up land we need to grow food and build ships for our people? Indeed. But our interests and Deadfire's are not mutually exclusive. The Valians have sent an expedition to Pococahara, a storm-wrecked island believed to house a vein of luminous. I hear you accomplished an incredible feat in restoring the luminous Adra near Port Mage. If your abilities allow you to do that, then perhaps you are also capable of the opposite. Find the luminous Adra at Pococahara. Render it unusable to the Valians. This should encourage them to develop the resources they have, rather than reaching for more. Because governors like Clario are a rare breed. Most of the Valian administrators care little for the well-being of the Juana. If the Valians claim Pococahara, it is the locals who will truly suffer. Deeply. But if a small sacrifice here will discourage the Valians from further ventures, then it is a worthwhile risk. Deadfire is a tumultuous place. Consider the value of an ally with ships, cannons, and the backing of a great empire. I do not have the precise location of Pococahara, but the tribe on the nearby island of Tikawara could probably help. I suggest starting there. Now, what else can I do for you? How do you mean that? Are you making advances at me? It's for the best. This would be a most inconvenient time to begin an attachment. It's a trading post, of course. Rawatai is rich in saltpeter, copper, and a few other profitable minerals. We generally trade for food and timber, which grow poorly in the rough country. The Valians have become aggressive competitors in recent years, but our ships were plying the seas long before the Republics declared independence. We learned the value of defending our goods and ships long ago. Clear skies.
Certainly.
Deadfire's so different than what I'm used to. Well, it must be for you, too.
Ah, quite different. Even I am not accustomed to this much sailing.
They seem to hold the godlike in high regard. You ever think about staying?
The Dukes have liberated me from the burden of making that choice, Adir.